Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now, here's the guy who's about to go beast mode podcast on you, Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our live coverage of Eviction number 3 here on Big Brother 16. It is Thursday, July 17th. The house guests are competing right now for the HOH competition, or the H's OH, in deference to Mr. Ian Terry. Thank you very much. And so we are ready to talk about everything. Eviction number 3. Devin, by a vote of 11-0, is out of the Big Brother house. So we're going to talk about all of that and what is to come this week here on our Big Brother podcast. First, let's say hi to the man who's been following everything that's been happening and could tell us just how close it actually was for Devin to be saved and for Caleb to go home this week. Here is Brian Lynch.
Hello! You do look ravishing. It wasn't that close.
No, it wasn't that close. They told one hell of a story, though.
Yeah, and all that happened before veto.
Yeah. All right. And here is the man who will also help us break it all down here tonight. He is the winner of Big Brother 14. Please welcome in Ian Terry.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rob. I saw the comments from last time. We are now in a rock-proof chair.
Rock-proof chair. Okay. Well, you know, I noticed the rocking, but I feel like, you know, if that's going to help you get in the zone, then I think you should go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I don't want anyone vomiting on their expensive computer because I'm making them sick. So this is much more comfortable, actually.
Okay. All right. Well, we have so much to get to here tonight. I'm very, very excited. Of course, we are here streaming live on YouTube again. Dealing with some issues on the main Rob Cesternino YouTube channel. So here we are on the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe to this channel as well, we'll use it for other stuff as I deal with a little bit of a copyright misunderstanding right now with my friends at YouTube. So it's a funny story. I'm just trying to work it all out with them. But in the meantime, it's actually not that fun. In the meantime, let me tell you what we have lined up here on this ultimate Big Brother weekend here on Rob Has a Podcast. First, we got a live HOH competition going on right now, and Brian, you're going to let us know when the feeds come back up. If you want to jump in on this live feeds and get a free preview of the live feeds over the next 2 days or so and see how this all shakes out here tonight, you can jump in anytime at robhasawebsite.com/live feeds. Get your feeds for free and help support Rob Has a Podcast. 2, we have a very, very busy Friday coming up here on RHAP. First, I'm going to be speaking with Devin Bro tomorrow morning. He's going to be calling in, and I'll speak with him at 8 a.m. Pacific time. A little conversation with Devin. I have to say, I thought Devin had a pretty classy exit from the Big Brother house. For as crazy as he was the first couple of weeks, I think that his imminent departure really mellowed him out. Would you guys say the same?
I would agree.
Yes. Absolutely. And so we'll talk with Devin Bro tomorrow morning. That's going to be very, very fun. Then I will also have a special bonus podcast on Friday. And check this out, Ian. Your coach, Mike Boogie, is coming by. Mike Boogie is going to be, I'm going to have coffee with Mike Boogie tomorrow morning. And I'm going to talk with him about everything. That's actually going to be audio only. He's going to be here in the studio, though. I'm going to talk with Mike Boogie on Friday morning and ask him what he thinks about everything. Those will be separate. Those will be separate shows, all leading up to Sunday night. Watch Big Brother 16 live with Brenchel at the Hollywood Improv. Ian, I know you must be bummed out you can't make it out here for this extravaganza on Sunday night.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I just, Brenchel, they're great. They're fun people to hang out with. I would love to head out there, but I have things to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're not in the LA area, but we're trying to round up the other Big Brother people from the LA area. We're all going to be together at the Hollywood Improv starting at 7:30 p.m. We're going to watch the show live at the Hollywood Improv on the West Coast feed, and then I'm going to be recording a podcast with Brendan and Rachel starting at 9 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be taking questions from you guys. We're going to try to make the show super interactive. Be there in person. Tickets are $10. You can go to robhasawebsite.com/RHAP live. I'll put the link in the description. You can click the banner on the website. Plus, use the promo code Brenchel to be entered into the special HOH competition to win a special HOH prize pack, which includes a HOH VIP table, plus drink tickets, free appetizer, and also you get some swag also from the Hollywood Improv and opportunities to take pictures with Brenchel in the green room. So if you're in the LA area, definitely come on down. We're trying to get other LA Big Brother people involved also in the mix. So come on down Sunday night, robhasawebsite.com/RHAP live. Okay, let's jump into this. It was sort of an interesting yarn the show was selling us tonight about that there was a possibility that Caleb was going home. Let's just, Brian, take us through how real is Cody's interest in getting rid of Caleb?
I mean, we saw basically all of the conversation that involved that possibility. So they brought him into the diary rooms after that and had them talking about it a little bit, and that pretty much is most of the show we just saw today. And I think most of that happened before the POV ceremony, actually.
Ian, can you think of other instances when we've had a hashtag BB love triangle?
Me, Frank, Ashley.
Okay.
Me, Hayden, Nicole. Well, that's not quite. Kiara, Roddy, and Amy.
That's going back a ways.
Dave. Well, yeah. Of course, it's going backwards. David, Amanda, Scott.
Okay. But is this the? Okay. Where do you rank this BB love triangle in Big Brother history?
See, I really don't know the extent of the whole Amber Cody thing. I mean, that's not exactly new footage, that massage thing that they had going on. So I don't really think it's like really that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, he was flustered about it, as I would imagine he would be. But I don't think that this is like some sort of major, issue between the two of them.
So, Ian, if you were to update your relationship chart in the house, how much
should do that? Yeah.
How much girth would you give the arrow between Cody to Amber?
Lots and lots of girth. I mean, I would make it really just very, very large. It would probably take up like half the page.
But not as much girth as the arrow from Caleb pointing to Amber. His arrow has more girth.
Oh! I thought you were talking about that one initially. The Caleb pointing to Amber one is the one that takes up half the page. Cody and Amber is like a little tiny thin one. Yeah, nothing there.
And is it reciprocal? We talked last night with another one of your BB14 house guests, with Cara Monaco.
Oh, yeah.
She felt like that. Brian, tell me if I'm misreporting this. She felt like that Amber was into Cody, right, Brian?
Or she could be, if given. I think she was saying as long as Caleb is in the house, that nothing like that would ever happen.
What do you think? What's the interest level between Amber to Cody?
Amber, Cody, there could be something there if Caleb's gone.
Yeah, what do you think, Ian?
Sure, it could definitely happen. I mean, it would be probably pretty tough for Caleb to watch from his couch at home, but I mean, that's what I think it is. It's very odd. Like once Caleb said, "Yeah, I'm into Amber," that just was this sort of repellent that was put on Amber to any other guy in the house. And I think she's probably one of the more, if not the most physically attractive girls in there. So once he called dibs, as if you could call dibs on a human being, then it essentially repelled all the other guys away from her until now.
So what about that scene that they showed us tonight when they're in the dark and Amber, what's going on there where she's touching his leg and she's sort of rubbing Cody's leg? Not that that's anything that's oh my God, but I mean, to me, I've never had any women doing that to me. So I know that Cody must be doing something right. That's that's a flirtatious touch, is it not?
It was definitely a flirtatious touch. I don't have it happen to me much either. So,
So,
Um,
does Amber have the what I like to call the olive oil Popeye Bluto syndrome? Does she like seeing Caleb get mad, and does she flirt with Cody intentionally because she likes getting a rise out of Caleb and wants to see Caleb come and beat up Cody?
Probably, and that's her choice to do it if it damn well pleases her.
Brian, do you see any of that?
I mean, I'm kind of nervous about saying that because people are going to come at you from all angles, calling you all sorts of things. I mean, what did she say right there though when she was the leg scratching? She said, "I've been waiting for you to do this." That
Yes.
kind of struck
But here's
me.
the thing: Cody is a good-looking guy.
Good-looking guy. Great-looking guy.
He's a great-looking guy. Let's not even, change the script here. I think most girls would be very happy to, be cuddling with someone like Cody. And I think that, yeah, of course she's going to be into it. He's a good-looking guy, pretty charming. They seem to get along pretty well. So that's what's going on there. Yeah.
Okay. Developing situation. Brian, have we gotten to the point where I know they didn't talk about this on the show. They were talking about it on the live feeds. Has the impact on the live show surpassed the impact actually happening in the house?
Of what event?
Of the whole Caleb Amber obsession. Have they gone too far now in covering it on the show?
I don't know. They're kind of at this point where they don't like each other. They just don't have feelings for each other anymore. And I think Caleb's finally coming around to thinking about playing his game instead of being so stuck up her butt.
Okay, well, let's bring this back around to the events of tonight, and let's talk about those speeches on the block tonight. And, first, let's start with Caleb, because, Ian, was this the first time somebody is on the block on the Thursday eviction show with open shirt?
I mean, I know that from Big Brother 12 there was an open fly incident, but
Who had the open fly incident?
I think it was Lane at was it?
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Final Four, I think it was.
Yeah.
But or maybe
he needs easy access.
But what was it now? Oh, Caleb in the shirt. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, I thought it was ridiculous. Like I remember I used to I like to unbutton the top button of the shirt, and obviously everyone does that unless you're Tim LeMaster, right?
Wow.
No, not taking shots or anything, just saying. And then I like to unbutton the second one sometimes, get the chest hair out when I decide not to shave it. Kind of got that Columbo look going on.
Columbo look? Are you the youngest person to ever do a Columbo?
PI. I don't know.
A Magnum PI reference? Is that history right now?
A Magnum PI, I think is what I was going. I don't know who Columbo is. I just knew. Aren't those like detective shows?
Yeah. Anyway, one last thing.
I'm young, so give me a break on that one. Anyways. A Magnum PI thing going on. I thought my friends were like, that's douchey, don't do that, don't unbutton two buttons, that don't do that, you jerk. And then I see that and I'm thinking about just bringing it down to 3 or 4 without fear of being called a douche. So I think it's definitely pretty I was pretty entertained by that.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing the show. I think I was thinking about just doing the whole shirt unbuttoned and doing it that way. But I don't think that the world is ready for that. I don't think Rob Has a Planet is ready for that yet.
I don't either.
I don't think so. So what did Caleb say what was this nonsense that he was talking about on the block? He was just talking about how he was going beast mode cowboy, beast mode. He said beast mode about easily 4 or 5 times in his 60 seconds of talking. Brian, what did he say?
Well, he said that, Devin's great, but Caleb himself is not a backstabber, liar, cheater, or a thrower under the busser, or whatever he said. And that was just about it. And beast mode. He's back in beast mode gear. Less cowboy, more beast mode.
Ian, in a vacuum, is it a good idea to tell the house when you're up for nomination that you're going to go beast mode?
Well, here's the thing, right? I mean, Big Brother is this really great game because it's cooperative, competitive, where any strength can be sold as a weakness and any weakness can be sold as a strength. So, although sitting on the block and saying, I think Devin had it right. He goes, well, yeah, I can win competitions. That's obvious just by looking at him. But he goes, would you like to have me winning the competitions and taking you with me? Would you like to reap the benefits of me winning those competitions? So you have to sell what you have. That's what Big Brother is about. It's not so much what you have, it's about selling what you do have. So, I mean, for someone like Devin or Caleb, that's the line. Caleb can't go out there and say, and neither can Devin go, yeah, I'm a really weak competitor and I can't win anything. Well, no one's going to believe it. Sorry.
So Devin, I thought, had a pretty decent speech on the block tonight. That he basically
Good.
surprisingly good. He's like, all right, guys, I just want to let you know, Caleb, he's got a final 2 deal with Amber, and he's taking her to the end. He's putting himself on the block, bro. And I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it just goes to show you, like, these speeches are pretty much worthless. That everybody in the house listening to the speech is like, man, that's pretty good. All right, 11-0 votes for Caleb.
I said it on Twitter. I'll say it again. Speeches are like the points on whose line.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about some of the other things from the episode. Of course, we had a lot of stuff about the BB love triangle, which we've talked about. We also got a little bit of it seemed like production taking a shot at Victoria with the scene, which I kind of didn't understand, where, you know, the guys are playing pool, and here comes Victoria out of the house, and basically everybody's like hooping and hollering, and basically, you know, the button on that scene is like, at first I'm like, well, why are they making such a big deal? And then the button on the scene is Hayden saying like, whoa, hey, what's your name? Seriously, what's your name? Obviously, this is production telling us they're not happy with Victoria. Right, Ian? Am I reading too much into that?
I mean, actually, I didn't even think of that. Like, as far as like the double layer there, like, what's your name? That's brilliant. I mean, I don't know how I didn't realize that this was like, wow, yeah, that's really good. I mean, I think she looked really good out there when she was strutting her stuff. I took it to mean something completely different, and you know, I guess I'm just an idiot.
I mean,
what was you thinking?
Well, I mean, I guess me being really, it's probably more wishful thinking. I thought that, seriously, what's your name meant like, hey, she's really attractive. Like, you know, what's your name? Because I would be interested in you. But, you know, obviously, you know,
I'm sorry I made you explain that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ian,
so I'm just, yeah.
So is it true that Victoria is actually America's player, and you have been controlling her actions, and you sent her into the bedroom when Hayden and Nicole were about to make out?
I don't think they were about to make out, Rob.
I don't know. I think that they might have been about to make out.
I don't think so.
Brian, what do you think? Was that about to make out?
No, they weren't about to make out. I mean, you heard her saying no, 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 no.
Okay. All
but
right.
they might. He's got a kiss on the cheek in a couple of times, and he's not going to give up.
He's not going to give up. You know, Rob, why weren't there beautiful women like that I could just try on my season? Just wear down. You know, I mean, I'm not that kind of guy, but I've seen it done.
Maybe y'all end up in a season together.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I'll never play it again. But you know, I thought it was pretty interesting.
Okay. It seemed like it was going that direction, though.
I don't think so, Rob. I don't think so. I don't think so.
But then I did feel like it was it was extra funny also that it was Victoria. Like, God knows what time of day that was. He was like, really, you're going to bed right now? Brian, what time of day does Victoria go to bed on average?
Oh gosh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're up at all times of the night, so I mean, they could be up at like 3 in the morning. But she's usually in bed earlier than most, I would say.
Let's talk about
she goes to bed a lot earlier than the crew that stays up until like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 a.m. So, I mean, yeah, she goes to bed pretty early compared to the rest. Yeah, so that's what I would say.
Let's talk about something very interesting that they did on the show tonight. Of course, we checked in with Donnie's family. Now, this is a little bit of a departure from anything we've ever done on Big Brother before. Of course, it used to be for years and years, it was like, okay, that this person is on the block and this person's on the block. Let's check in with their family and see what they think. And it's always just been like sort of like a package of what the family is thinking. This is the first time we've ever sent our embedded correspondent, Big Jeff, to go and talk to Donnie's family. Ian, did you feel like this worked?
I don't think it works. Apparently the feeds are back, and we do have a wiener.
Oh, hold on. We'll wait. Let's wait till we get to the live
Okay.
feeds part, and we'll talk about that.
All right. So we didn't get to watch it at all. But no, I don't think the Jeff thing. It felt very awkward. The delivery was kind of stilted, I thought. I mean, I don't know. The other thing is I've seen on one side of the curtain, so maybe it's just different for me. I love Jeff and everything. It's just I wasn't feeling it.
I thought it was pretty good, actually. I thought, I mean, I was laughing that I felt
No,
like.
I was laughing. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, I won't deny that it still seemed kind of. It seemed pretty awkward. It seemed.
Yeah, it was hard to tell. Like, it seemed a little bit like Jeff was making fun of Donnie's family. A little bit. He's like, hey, everybody, Jeff Schroeder here. I'm here with Donnie's brother and sister. And they were just like deadpan. And he's like, so do you guys watch Big Brother or anything? Are you guys watching Donnie out there every week? And they're like, no, it's on past my bedtime. It's on too late. And Jeff asked Donnie's dad. There were so many like really funny moments. Jeff asked Donnie's dad like, so I know you've never seen the show before, but are you watching it now? What are you thinking of Donnie? And he's like, I watch cowboy I watch cowboy pictures.
Yeah, actually, when he said cowboy pictures and Gunsmoke, I about lost it. Like, I'll admit, like, that to me that made my life, because that is just like the unintentional humor that I like on Big Brother, because sometimes it just seems so forced. And just that moment to me, I had a huge grin on my face. So I liked that. That was great. It was, yeah.
Does Donnie's dad watch cowboy pictures or beast mode cowboy pictures?
I think that he looks at pictures of Cowboy from Big Brother 5.
Is that what they do?
Maybe that's what he means by that, right? Right? I mean, I'm a little young, but I think that's what that means.
So I figured, maybe Donnie's dad is pretty set in his ways. And then so Jeff starts talking to the mom, and he's like, all right, so what do you think about your son? How's he doing on there? And the mom's like, I don't like it. I don't like the show.
That was the other thing was, I'm honestly surprised that they actually put that in there, because to me it's just like the way it is like anytime on Big Brother anybody asks, it's like, well, yeah, of course we watch it. It's our favorite show. We love this show. It's a great show. And then they just have people on there like, I don't even watch this if my own kid is on it. I mean, I thought it was really amusing, no doubt. But
yeah. And mom is like, well, Jeff is like, so do you like the show or not? And she's like, well, I've never seen him in shorts before. Like, so this was a big turnoff that she doesn't want to see him.
Let me ask, does he live with his parents?
It kind of seemed like it. I got to be honest, that they're sort of like.
In the first episode, that's what I took away from it. But if she's never seen him in shorts, then either he bought jorts before moving in,
or he made his own.
I think he lives alone. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but I think he lives alone.
Or he lives on his own. But in the first episode, it seemed as if he lived with his parents. But that could just be because they didn't have anything else to show him doing. Like, I remember when I was kidnapped, I was living in a house with about 5 or 6 other guys that were friends of mine. And they had a jam session with their guitars, electric, of course, and drums the night before above my bedroom in the living room, because I lived in the basement floor of it. Kept me up until like 5 a.m. I had a 9 a.m. shoot, and everyone that was there was literally passed out while we were filming it, and some girl, I don't even know her name, just like walked into the living room while we were filming, didn't know what was going on, and they wanted her to sign a release form, but they legally couldn't because they deemed that she wasn't in the right mental state in order to do so. My
What do you
roommate's
mean
pretty cool.
when you got kidnapped?
When they take you away for the show.
Okay, and who were the other guys you were with? The other people from the season?
No, just my friends that lived in my house in New Orleans at that point in time. They had a party the night before. I had a 9 a.m. time to go to the lab because they were gonna, they wanted to see what my normal day was like, and I didn't know I was going. I had an idea, but that's what happened, and they had a party the night before, and people stumbled into the filming accidentally, and they had to do a bunch of takes.
What did you think about Jeff doing a day in the life of, just like they wanted to capture a day in your life? Here was Jeff now doing a day in the life of Donnie. Did you feel like that? Did you like seeing Jeff waking up? All right, I'm being Donnie today. I'm gonna eat a Pop-Tart. I'm gonna go mow the lawn. I'm gonna hang out with Kelly Pickler. I'm gonna take my brother driving places. What do you? Was that too much?
I don't know. I thought it was like, all right, yeah, yay, nay, take it or leave it, really.
Yeah, it really goes to speak to, it was a slow week in the Big Brother house, right, Brian?
It was kind of slow, yes. Everybody knew Devin was going, and they had to fabricate that whole thing, basically.
All right, two more things on that. Really, really nice story about Donnie and his brother. That was really, really nice to see. Sort of like, really, if I'm Big Jeff, I'm getting a little territorial here with this Donnie storyline, because maybe I'm not helping show what a great guy Donnie is, because maybe next season Donnie's moving in to be an America's sweetheart instead of Jeff on the Big Brother front. Right? Should Jeff maybe be trying to do an expose and dig up some dirt on Donnie at this point, Ian?
I don't know, but I will say this: as far as like marketable faces of the show goes, if Donnie lasts just a little bit longer, there's no question that he's what I would call like a face of the show in the future. Like, you think Big Brother, you're going to associate it with this Donnie character because he's just so out of the ordinary for the typical person that they put on there that he's someone that's instantly memorable if he lasts even a reasonably long amount of time.
Ian, how close are we right now to when next summer we're sitting here, June 2015, getting ready for BB17, and here's Donnie, CBS.com, talking to house guests. Okay, so tell me, are you single and ready to mingle this summer?
I don't think I'd go quite that far, but
we're getting there. We're getting there. Jeff needs to dirty this guy up a little bit.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Jeff is irreplaceable in the eyes of the Grodd.
I don't know. Jeff needs to be like, all right, next time we're going to be live, and I'm going to be talking with some guys who went to high school with Donnie. They've got some dirt on him. We're going to find out what Donnie was really like, and he's not what you think he is, America. I don't know. One more thing on this. How about Donnie's girlfriend, Ian?
Very pretty.
Yes.
Talk about a great way to make me feel really self-conscious. Very attractive girl. Hey, Donnie has a good personality. What can we say?
Now, I feel like I've seen this movie before of, hey, here's Big Brother contestant. Here's male Big Brother contestant. Here is male Big Brother contestant's girlfriend. Hey, I'm rooting for him all summer. Yay. And then male Big Brother contestant becomes star in the Big Brother house. And then male Big Brother contestant kicks former girlfriend to the curb to go move on to greener pastures. Do we think that this is a concern here with Donnie?
I don't think so.
This is called the John Party, by the way.
Well, please don't mention that situation, Rob.
Okay.
Just back off there.
I'm sure it's happened a lot of times on U.S. Big Brother. So no, I'm sure that they're gonna look. I think Donnie knows a good thing when he sees it. So I think that's
yeah.
good.
No, I agree. I think that's the case. The other thing is, though, I'll say this. being on Big Brother or doing well on Big Brother, being popular on Big Brother, winning Big Brother doesn't help you date. Doesn't help you date.
Okay.
It will not help your romantic life.
All right. Yeah, I think Donnie that he's a guy who knows professionally that the grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence. That's his that's his vocation.
A very
He knows
good
that
point.
lesson well.
A very
Okay.
good point.
All right. So a couple other things from the Thursday night episode before we talk about the winners of the HOH competition. I did feel like then when we came back from Jeff talking about the package, felt like Julie really big-timed Jeff. Did not even mention like, oh, thanks, Jeff. She just went right into her thing. Now, maybe that's just, Julie is not going to deviate from the standard operating procedure of a Big Brother Thursday night. But I felt like that not even acknowledging that was very funny or that was interesting. I felt like, to me, felt like she did not like that. Didn't like Jeff moving in on her turf. What do you think, Ian?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell either way. Julie comes off to me as vote, count,
Not
move
even a
on.
smile. I didn't see a smile from Julie even.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think she has anything to worry about.
Okay. How about this? When she's bouncing around the living room tonight and talks to a couple people from the house. Let's go to the question that she asked Zach and asked him basically, what surprised you the most? And basically, Zach gives you pretty much the word for word Dr. Will answer. Did you think that Dr. Will slap Zach with a copyright infringement lawsuit?
No, because I don't think Dr. Will watches this stuff.
I think he does.
He might. Well,
I think he wants you to think he doesn't.
That's that's what you need to ask tomorrow, Rob. Okay. That's the question.
I will. If what Mike thinks Will thinks of Zach, or does Will watch the show?
Does Will watch the show?
For a guy who doesn't watch the show, he seems to know an awful lot about it when he shows up.
I mean, if you pay Dr. Will, he probably is going to be willing to know a lot about anything.
He'll catch up. Okay, so then how about here's this Hayden Voss, okay? This imposter, okay? So he shows up in the house, and basically Julie asks him, "What's the worst part of being a have-not?" And he says, "Nothing." And he says, "And do you know, is Survivor still hiring?"
Yeah, I was unaware that Survivor hired, by the way. That was new to me.
Yes. So first off, this guy comes in and totally rips off Hayden Moss's name, and now he wants to go on Survivor. This guy is like single white female Hayden Moss.
Not only that, I mean, here he goes in the house. He's trying to break my have-not record, which he's thrown off the track again by the fact there are no have-nots this upcoming week. And I don't think he's inactive, so I don't think he'll be on it next week either. He's trying to steal my girl. That's one thing.
That's one thing, yeah.
And I am kidding about that, sort of. And I mean, it's like, how many Big Brother winners are you going to tick off, Hayden? I mean, get your own identity. That's what I would say.
We'll have to see what Hayden Moss thinks about this at some point this summer. We'll knock on wood that we will find out the answer to that question. Okay, Devin's interview with Julie Chen, I felt like the overall the production gave him a pretty good send-off. I mean, that the guy brought nothing but drama in his time in the house. I think they gave him a very nice send-off. Wouldn't you agree, Ian?
Yeah,
I would
questions.
Agree with that. Yeah.
I would agree with that. I mean, it's just my heart actually kind of aches for the guy when he says, "Brittany gave me this," and it was a tinfoil heart, and then you immediately cut to her dancing around in happiness that he's gone. Like that actually. That stung a little bit for me. Like I actually felt genuinely bad for Devin at that particular moment.
Can they see that part, Ian, when you're sitting there with Julie?
I know you never
sat there
with,
but you don't know from anybody that.
No.
Okay, I feel like that's a good question
Sorry.
to know.
That would be a good question, yeah.
Yeah, because nobody ever reacts to it, right?
Well, I think Joe in my season did, right? Like, he saw his picture go black and white, and then he did this move. But that's the only time I can remember.
Okay. Everybody was pretty civil. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Brittany last night was saying she was going to give Devin pickles, like butt pickles. And I thought for a second, well, maybe she's got some pickles wrapped up in that tinfoil.
They were in it to go?
Devin, you should ask him if they were like to-go pickles.
Okay. Everybody was pretty civil in their goodbye messages to Devin as well. That they said basically, Jocasta says, your army turns against you. Caleb is like, you're an awesome guy. Zach says you're possibly the worst player in BB history. Ian, is Devin the worst player in BB history?
I actually will buy that one. And yeah, the reason I'm going to say this is I feel like there are a ton of people that we often say are the worst, but when we really think about it, they were just kind of thrust into an impossible situation, or they got a bad cast, or like someone like, we always hear Keith's name thrown about, right, as the worst ever. But
I've said it myself.
when you really think about it, that table draw was lethal. There was no way he was ever going to get out of that, just the way it was. He was clearly the strongest newbie. The HOH competition was something that a veteran was going to be very good. I mean, it was tailor-made for Rachel. I mean, just the hand he was dealt, he was always going to go out early. In other seasons, I think he could have done just fine. But when it really comes down to it, would I rather Keith have my life in his hands in a game of Big Brother, or would I rather have my life in Devin's hands to win a game of Big Brother? And I would honestly say I would trust Keith more.
Do you think, did Devin learn anything in his time in the house, Brian? By his final week in the house, he seemed to have gotten things to a point where he wasn't the lunatic that he was the first couple of weeks in the house. Do you feel like, let's say hypothetically they brought him back for an all-star season, could Devin potentially learn anything from his time in the house? Did you think he learned?
Yeah, I feel like he kind of admitted that in his interview with Julie. He said that he kind of got lost in the paranoia of the house, and then he said that it's hard to play an honest game in there, even though he wanted to play with integrity. So he's basically admitting that his strategy failed and that he might employ a new one in the future if he ever got that chance.
Ian, do you think that there's a possibility Devin could be a Big Brother All-Star? If we live in a world...
Not in an all-returner season. In a mixed season, perhaps. In a blood versus water season, Devin and his baby mama, maybe. But not in an all-star cast, no.
Why? Because you feel like he wouldn't make the cut, you feel like?
Just out too early.
Out too early.
That's what it was. Out too early.
I mean, I don't think that you could say that necessarily anymore. I mean, we're in a world where Francesca, first person out, came back to Survivor. We're in a world where Brian from Big Brother 10 was in the mix to take Jesse's spot.
Well, while that is true, Survivor, different show, I guess, and that was kind of an anomaly. I mean, it was fans versus favorites. That's besides Monica Culpepper. I think that's the only example of someone else that's out really early that gets asked back. And to add on that, the four people that were there in Big Brother 11 were, with all due respect to them, they were second-tier returning players, right? So, I mean, yeah, you can say Brian and Jesse. Well, although Jesse, I think, could have been, he made it far enough that he could have been considered for an all-star season. Given the way that twist was set up, that was second-tier returning players.
Okay.
I think he would have to get voted out twice before jury to get an All-Stars.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I always just assumed that it used to go by the old Survivor formula where 10th place or better was what you needed.
Yeah, we're in a different world, but I feel like Devin is, nonstop drama. I feel like that...
Hang on.
Are you going somewhere, Ian?
Yeah, my computer's about to die, so I'm actually going to move to the other chair.
Okay. I thought you were getting up to go to the whiteboard and illustrate something.
No, I'm not.
All right, I want to know from you guys both before we get to the outcome of this challenge. Do we like? First off, I hate this challenge. This is my least favorite Big Brother challenge of eggs through the chicken coop wire. Ian, you did this challenge, right?
I did not. I never participated in that one. It was never in my season, oddly
Okay.
enough.
So I am not a fan of this. They do it on Big Brother US. They do it on Big Brother Canada. I find it very tedious to watch. So they picked players randomly. Why not let the contestants pick their own partner? Wouldn't that cause a lot of drama in the house, Ian?
It would, but the common protocol for this is to draw chips. So
But I feel like it would be so interesting to watch them argue over who's partners with who, and they don't know the challenge, and it's like, there's nobody that could have an advantage. It's not like you could have like, oh, okay, Caleb and
well,
and
I disagree with that. I would say that having smaller, more nimble fingers.
Of course, but they wouldn't know what the challenge was ahead of time, so
Okay, well,
they
that's
wouldn't
true.
know that was an advantage of let me find the person with the longest, thinnest fingers in the house.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. I like the random draw. I wish they did a random draw the frat house, sorority house week.
Yeah.
So, that's that.
Okay. It's just such a fun thing that, like, it leads to so much drama when you can have these reality people picking who their partner is going to be and fighting over who they think will be the good partners. I think it's a good way to stir up drama in the house. But anyway, so the partners ended up being Victoria, Christine, Caleb and Nicole, Brittany and Jocasta, Amber and Zach, Donnie and Hayden, Cody and Frankie. Oh, I was so hoping for an Amber-Cody pairing.
I was too.
I was like, ooh, Amber and Cody, the fix is in. But no, unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
It was a combination prayer of that and no Hayden Nicole, like no whammies, no whammies. That was me.
Did you think that having a challenge set in hell was an FU by production to Jocasta?
No, I don't. I just thought it was a cute name. I mean, there's only so many egg puns they can make, Rob.
Yeah. All right. So, let me see if there's anything else from the show before we get to talk about the live feeds. Did you see Enzo had a tweet in the show tonight?
I did, and he spelled Devin's name wrong. What a shame.
Yeah, Devin is.
I put out comedy gold, and it never makes the bottom of the screen, Rob.
I think
What
you
am I
don't need to
doing
be
wrong?
funny. I think you need to just be like not funny. I think you need to be like, oh man, I hope Devin stays in the house tonight.
I tried that last week, and to no avail. I said, "Go Zach, go Nicole."
Yeah, and last week they Mertz Jaffer had a tweet in the show.
I saw that. Good for Mertz. Everyone likes Mertz, right?
Good for Mertz. So Enzo, I saw Judd had one last week. Enzo tweeted, "Devin is a beast, but it's always about the social game, yo." There you go. I added the yo for the record. Okay, let's get to talk about Let's talk about the spoilers. I have not seen this, so again, we're moving to spoilers, people. So you bounce out now. Hope you can join us on Sunday night if you're leaving now for our live viewing party and podcast with Brenchel, and we are working on a way to stream that as well on Sunday night. For more information, go to robhasawebsite.com/RHAP live. All right, let's talk about the spoilers. And Brian, would you do us the honors?
Yes. It seems like Cody and Frankie won the HOH.
Cody and Frankie. If you were gonna pick the winners out of this group, that's probably where your head would have been at before you knew what the competition was. So Cody and Frankie becomes the first potentially. Actually, he was not even. He's had the HOH power, but he did not become the HOH. But he's the first time to become a two-time person who won the HOH. So
yeah, I don't think it counts. You gotta be the permanent HOH twice in order to get that distinction.
Do we have a term for a person who wins the HOH but does not become the HOH?
The almost HOH, Rob.
The almost. So he has been almost HOH twice here. Frankie, not a lot of screen time tonight, Ian.
No, there really wasn't much. I did think that the accent in the diary room was pretty funny.
Yeah. By the way, yeah. Speaking, he did a Julie, you look ravishing tonight. How about Jocasta with the shout-outs? With the just shout-outs. That's highly against protocol.
Oh no, it is. She doesn't like to be thrown off her cue, and I really hope that she gets hollered at in the diary room for that. That was inappropriate.
It was inappropriate. Well, I'm sorry, say that.
I like shout outs on the feeds. You get to shout out all you want on the feeds, but like just don't screw up the show.
Yeah, she shouted out like 4 names. Also, it was like not like hey, hey baby, how are you? Like it was like I want to shout out to this person, this person. Like she
It's
just
like
won an
it's like
Oscar.
someone that just like goes on Price is Right and they're like spinning the big wheel for the showcase showdown and they're just like shouting off like, and then my grandma and cousin Nixon and Timmy and the guy from down the street who I don't know his name, but he poked the bee's nest when I was a kid, and
Business.
that guy and the guy that works at the mini mart and the guy at the supermarket and the guy at the mall.
Yeah, too many,
Over.
too many shout outs. All right, so all right, with the potential of Frankie and Cody as the nominating HOHs right now, who do we suspect is in the mix here to go up on the block, Brian?
Well, hey, I mean, since Frankie's in Team America and the new thing is about taking out a physical threat, I think they can pretty much say Amber and Caleb are physical threats, and whichever one they want to get out is whichever. They'll probably get out Caleb. I wonder if they could just like plan to backdoor him if like success is the person being evicted or just getting him up on the block.
Okay, so Team America had a choice. Would you rather see somebody put up on the block who's a floater or somebody put up on the block who's a physical threat? America has voted.
Target.
Okay, who do you want them to target?
Okay.
So Team America has to target a physical threat. Does that sound like Caleb to you, Ian?
That would be Caleb, by very definition, I would say.
Okay. Brian, what's the likelihood of a Caleb eviction this week with this news of that Cody and Frankie as the HOHs? H's OH, Ian.
I guess that depends on what the criteria is for them winning money. If they have to put him on the block to begin with to get the money, and they put him on the block, then he's got 2 chances to get his ass off the block, and he won't be going home. But if the ultimate goal is to get him voted out, then they might just backdoor him like they try to do Devin, and then at most he would have only 1 chance to get off the block.
Because you have the player who's the most motivated to get rid of Caleb in the house as potentially the HOH this week. So I feel like this is not a good week if you're a beast mode cowboy, right, Ian?
It is not a good week at all. And, yeah, I mean, week 4, so even numbered season, that's a tough week to be nominated. Yeah.
So what do you think we could see? Do we think that Amber ends up in the mix here in the nominees because Cody is very close with her, but do you think that potentially Frankie could have her in his nominations?
Should be an interesting egg draw this week, as usual. Well, actually, not as usual, but I really just want it to be a meaningful egg draw, so we might actually have that this week.
Okay, so if you had to call it right now, Ian, give me the 2 nominees from Frankie.
Oh, I haven't seen much feed lately, Rob. I'm going to defer on this one.
All right, Brian, what do you think? Give us your best guess for the nominees at this point.
I could see like maybe Frankie nominating Amber and like Jocasta. I kind of like the idea of nominating Amber and then kind of because Caleb is kind of turning on her, and then maybe getting her to like realize, hey, he kind of threw you under the bus right here, and then using the veto on her to pull her off the block, put him up, so she votes him out. That would be excellent.
Okay. Who else? Is there anybody else in the mix besides Caleb, Amber, Jocasta? Anybody else that these guys are looking at as targets?
I remember the other day I just said like the mix, like Amber, Caleb, Jocasta. I imagine Victoria's name is always going to come up in the mix now.
Brittany.
Yeah, Brittany's name.
Donnie.
Those are the names that are going to be coming up in the nomination sets as long as this 2 HOH twist continues.
Okay. Just real quick, I want to talk about some of the highlights that Brian pulled from the live feeds. Brian, tell me about Caleb's request for estrogen blocker. What is the issue there? Why does he need an estrogen blocker?
Caleb is saying that he has a gland issue and that gluten in the flour is causing his man boobs or one of them to swell.
Okay. Ian,
he needs estrogen blocker.
You're the resident science correspondent on Rob Has a Podcast.
For a second, I thought you were going to say I was the resident man boob correspondent.
No, I think I got that one covered. So, Ian, you're our resident science correspondent. Is flour the cause of Caleb getting an overdeveloped man boob?
See, I always heard that soy was what you wanted to avoid for that. I do not know biology at all. I don't claim to know any biology, so I'm going to pass on this one as well. I'm just not qualified.
You know what? I will ask Brendan on Sunday. I know that he is. Yes. I think this might be more his field of study.
He's biophysics. I'm assuming he would probably know.
Yeah, biochemistry, right?
I was under the assumption he was in UCLA's biophysics or biomedical physics department.
We'll ask him for a clarification.
I'm sure he's aware.
Okay, and anything else that you want to touch on before we get to some questions, Brian?
I don't know. It's Brittany got saved by God.
By God did Jocasta and God offer Brittany a spot in the God Squad?
Yes, and Amber was there, so Amber's kind of in on the God Squad as well. But the greatest thing about it is, if you watch Quadcam, you also get the overlay of this really interesting combo by Zach about crazy, wild, deviant sex stuff.
Whoa. I have no desire to watch that.
Okay. And Zach was just telling some crazy stories?
He was just making different stories up. They were all jokes, but they were hilarious to be overlaid with the saving. I don't know. I'm just warped in the head. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's good. All right. Let's bring in some of your questions here tonight that came to us via the RHAP hashtag and on our YouTube channel. Okay. And let me bring these into the broadcast. And let's start out with what Scott St. Pierre has pulled together. And let's start with Alex Wilpon, the big Adam Pock super fan. She wants to say, I wasn't able to watch much of the feeds after last night's show. Do you guys know why Nicole and Christine decided not to throw the hinky votes at Caleb? That's right. I forgot all about this because it wasn't in my notes because it didn't happen. But we talked about this a lot on the Wednesday night show, that they were thinking about putting hinky votes into the mix, yet they did not. Brian, what happened?
I never really caught a conversation on why they didn't. Obviously, they just abandoned the idea.
Ian, I thought it was a bad move for them to do this because I feel like they have a good thing going right now. They have a 3-person alliance, which isn't really on anybody's radar right now. I feel like throwing 2 hinky votes into the mix of 11 could have only resulted in potentially bad things for them. What do you think?
Yeah, see, I always thought about doing, and there actually really weren't that many landslide votes where I thought that it was safe to do it. And the one in particular for me that I thought about was week 4 of my season, where it was Janelle versus Frank on the block. And the way that I talked myself out of it was, well, if I'm thinking this, and I think it's a great idea, what if everybody else is thinking the same exact thing? And then the vote comes back and Frank gets evicted, and then I'd be up, up the creek without a paddle, because Janelle is someone that wants me out. So that was not a risk I was willing to take. It's a bold gambit. We've seen it pay off in the short term and then just come crashing down for James Ryan. So yeah, I mean it's an interesting idea.
I think the move for the hinky vote is if you're somebody who really has nothing going on. Basically, you just need to shake up the house. I feel like the person that should be doing a hinky vote is like Brittany or Victoria. Somebody who just, wants to, get the world to burn here because they have nothing else going on. They need to shake up the status quo, as opposed to somebody like, Brittany, not Brittany, Nicole or Christine or Hayden, people who are in a pretty solid under-the-radar group. What do you think of that, Ian?
Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I got distracted.
I think that maybe like a Jocasta, a Donnie, or a Brittany should have been the ones doing a hinky vote, because they were probably the people that would benefit most from a shakeup in the House as opposed to their current position now. What do you think of that, or is it a bad idea for them because they were the most likely people to vote out Caleb? and keep
Right, right. If that happens, then all eyes are on them. Now, one thing I thought of if Christine and Nicole were to have gone through with that is I can't ever see that ending well for Nicole. She just doesn't seem terrifyingly adept um, at lying. I think she'd probably get caught out. And I feel like Christine, if she really wanted to just dump Nicole at any point, she can just say, well, Nicole did this, and I know it for a fact because I convinced her to, and one of the other two also changed their vote to Caleb and not me. So, that was something I'd thought of. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I don't know that it was good. I was looking forward to seeing it, mainly because it never happens and it's exciting when it does, but didn't go that way.
Okay. Let's take another question here, and this one is from. Wait for that to pop up. Are you guys seeing it?
I do not see.
Okay, well, let's try again. Here we go. We're having a little bit of a technical issue with the questions coming up. All right. No worries. I will bring up the questions on my own end. And so Lee Hewitt wants to know: is Brittany in the Trinity now? And is this now the Quad God Squad? Brian, is Brittany in the Trinity?
Okay, so the Trinity, that's kind of confusing because that was like one of the names of like the Christine, Hayden, and Nicole alliance. So the God Squad is not really the Trinity, but I guess it is those girls, Jocasta, Brittany, and Amber. But
okay.
Yeah, I feel like Amber's like coming closer to the outsiders and is going away from the remnants of the bomb squad.
Oh, okay. No doubt. That I agree with.
All right, let's take a question from Coballer1155 who said, how funny would it be if Caleb proposed to Amber on the finale? Ian, you're the master of probability. What do you think of that?
Oh, I mean, that would be really funny to me.
We lost Brian. Are you there? We lost Ian's audio for a second.
I still do not hear Ian's audio.
Yeah. I mean, am I still here?
You're there.
Okay. Well, I think that I'd be embarrassed for him. I would enjoy seeing it. That's for sure. But I don't necessarily know. They're probably not a good idea for him, but it would be really funny.
Okay. Let's go ahead and let's take a question from RFM7846, who says, who would you like to see go home next? Okay. Ian.
Hayden.
I knew it before I finished asking it. Brian, who do you want to see go home next?
Jocasta.
Okay.
Strike a direct blow to the Bible study.
What is that the most boring to watch on the feeds?
Every single night.
Yeah. And I will say, let's go with the person who's not giving us any good TV. How about Victoria? How about that?
Oh, she's too cute to get booted out.
Yeah.
Maybe a crow will fly off with her.
Okay.
I didn't hear about that. That was something else.
Okay. This is from Gregory Contreras. He tells us that he's been in the crowd and the people evicted can see the TV. So
okay.
Devin did see the people cheering against him. Oh no. Okay. Let's see. Let's take another question from Michael GM says, did you find it weird that they ended the show before the challenge was over? Well, don't they typically end the show before the chicken coop challenge is over?
In the times it's been played for HOH, yes.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty typical. Scott St. Pierre lost power, so we lost the questions that he curated. So I'm just scrolling through them. Okay. This is from Midwest Beauty XO. We talked about this last night. Did you know if you wear a Harvard shirt, you went to Harvard? Okay, so
yeah, I think Jody knows all about that.
Yeah, we talked about the Harvard shirt last night on the show. I said, why does he wear a Harvard medical shirt? They didn't tell us why he wears it, but we did see the other house guests talking about that. Ian, did you think that Harvard medical was like, does that make any sense that if he was hiding the fact that he went to Harvard, that he would wear a Harvard medical T-shirt in the house?
I mean, that's actually a really interesting thing to think about, right? Yeah, I mean, that's actually a really good point. If you're trying to hide it, why would you wear a shirt that says it, right? You
Unless
don't
you're
see
really
like
intelligent.
you don't see Derek walking around with like a shirt that says Jersey's finest, with
Or you don't see, Frankie walking around in an Ariana Grande T-shirt.
Yeah, but Derek walked around with a badge around his neck.
I guess that's a good point. I guess you could say, really, if I was faking being a cop, why would I wear a badge?
And accuse you of being a cop.
Yeah, True Anderson also says that LaJuan wore a Harvard shirt also, so there is a precedent for good Big
yeah.
Brother play.
Actually, I think he wore a Yale shirt if I remember right.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
correct.
important. You don't want to get that wrong. Stephen Fishback
But
is.
Jody definitely wore a Harvard shirt. I think she may have gotten evicted in a Harvard shirt actually.
Okay. And let's see. Is there a curse for the Ivy League University shirt, Ian?
Well, Donnie's still in there, isn't he?
So far, so good. Okay. And let's see if I could pull up one more question. Okay. It says Garrett Bear says, Rob, last summer you said Jeremy was going to go out in spectacular fashion. This summer you thought so with Devin. I think you are cursing them because both of them went out pretty uneventfully. Yeah, I've been wrong about these two guys. Both of them, I thought that, now the chips are down. These guys are going to implode and go Willie Hance style. And both of those guys really went, much like March, came in like lions and went out like lambs. What is it about these big guys that when it looks like, the odds are against them, they sort of really mellow out and become completely a 180 from what they were before?
I think that they have these moments of realization, right, where they just kind of say, oh, man, maybe I've been a douchebag in here and I should really better myself. I don't know. Actually, Jeremy's a really nice guy in real life. You might be surprised to know that. From my interactions, anyway.
I shared a van ride with him at the reality rally at at like 1 a.m. That it was me, him, Danielle Reyes, and my brother, and it was a very funny car ride.
Yeah, he's a really nice dude. I'm actually going to meet him this weekend. But, I think they just kind of have realization and they just go out quietly because they know, that's the thing. They know that their game is done and that's it.
Okay. All right. So, here's where we stand right now. All right. So you can check out the live feeds right now and see who's going to go up on the block here on Thursday night. You can do that at robhasawebsite.com/live feeds if you're not already on board with the Big Brother live feeds. Tomorrow, huge day in Big Brother land for RHAP. We're going to start off. I'm going to talk with Devin Bro. Going to get him on the podcast, ask him about his game these last 3 weeks, bright and early. Then Mike Boogie is coming by here. We're going to have an interview with Mike Boogie to talk about his thoughts on this season, all leading up to this Sunday night, Brendan and Rachel live at the Hollywood Improv for our Big Brother viewing party and live podcast taping. If you're in town, we'd love to see you out there. robhasawebsite.com/RHAP live. If this is a big success, we're going to try to do this in more and more places. So hope you guys can come out and join us for this. Ian, any final thoughts?
I'm exhausted. I can't wait to go to bed.
Okay. All right. Brian, thank you as well. And everybody have a great night. Very busy Friday coming, and can't wait. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Have a good one, guys.